Hi everyone, it's David from Automotive Press. I am doing drive-by audit where I'm going to be checking the exterior quality of many vehicles all at once. I'm going to do a Toyota Tacoma against its competitors such as the Frontier and some of the GM Chevrolet mid-size trucks and see which of these have the best exterior quality. I can't check the interior because many of these cars are locked, even though I can probably ask them to open it for me. I'm going to just focus on the exterior. I do have my gauge. I just have to be careful I don't use this too much because I might annoy the show organizers. But let me start with the Tacoma. This is a prototype, but this is very close to production version, and therefore I could say that the quality of what I see here is probably going to be very similar to what I see in real production model. But this Tacoma TRD Pro, which I have already seen a few times in Ontario and elsewhere, has shockingly good quality. I know you guys are a little bit worried about the new Tacoma and whether it would do well in terms of manufacturing quality. Well, you're going to be shocked because the gaps are really good. So right here, the gap is only 3.5 millimeter. Over here, same thing, 3.3, and also the panel alignment is really excellent. And then between the front fender and the front door, it's about 3.5 as well. And there's a gasket here, so it's a little hard to measure, but 3.6 and 3.5. So as you can tell, the gaps are really narrow, like much narrower than what I see in the Toyota Tundra over there, and actually better than any other Tacoma that I've seen in the past, because the last generation Tacoma had a really big gaps and they weren't so good. And you can see the panel alignment is really excellent. You can see the paint job is also really good, although like most Toyotas, there's a fair amount of orange peel, you can see that. But a lot less than I think in the previous generation. Looks like the paint job has improved. I'm not too crazy about this Terra color, but paint job is excellent. Like the previous generation, Tacoma had a lot of orange peel here, and you can still see the orange peel. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but if you look at the quality of paint this way, just the gloss and the clear coat, I can tell you that it's vastly improved. You see a bit of a wave over here. I think this is still a prototype, so they haven't quite gotten all the panels finished off properly, but it's very promising. I'm a little bit worried about this glossy black part here. I think that could be very bad. If you just happen to brush against a tree or something, you'll scratch very easily. So I'm surprised they decided to do that instead of a kind of heavy-duty matte black plastic. Anyway, so let me go to the other vehicles. I'm going to go to Nissan Frontier next and check the exterior quality against the Tacoma, and I'll keep on doing it with many other mid-size trucks. Alright, so now I'm at the Nissan stand in front of the Nissan Frontier. I hope you can hear me. It was really noisy and super busy here, but let me do a quick quality check as well. I've done that already in the past, but it's kind of good to do a side-by-side check. As you might be aware, they have an interesting design for the Frontier where the front hood actually goes over the front fender. You can see kind of like a Defender type design. So the gap is not easy to measure because this kind of gets recessed inside. But regardless, if I were to measure it, it's about 4 millimeter over there. Whoa, 4.8 millimeter here. And unfortunately, the alignment is not very good. You can see this really going over it, but it's also partly by design because they're designing this to go over the front fender. So it's not necessarily poor quality, just the design makes it look very different. But still, the gaps are wide. So this is 4 millimeter, 4.1 millimeter, and then this is actually better here at 3.9, and then actually pretty good here, 3.8 millimeter. And just the door though closes with a bit of a tinny sound. They always have that problem with the Frontier. It's solidly built, but the doors tend to close very tinny, both front and back. Yeah, front is not so bad. The rest of the quality is actually quite good. Alignment here looks really good too, and paint job I would say is not bad, not great, but not bad. You can see a fair amount of orange peel here and not as much gloss as the Tacoma. Although once again, that Tacoma is a prototype, so they might have extra wax or coating on it to make it look really shiny. But this one, I would give it kind of average grade. Could be better. It definitely isn't the strength of the Frontier. The strength of the Frontier is the fact that it still has a really good V6 engine, has a very solid steering feel because it's still hydraulic power steering. And overall, I actually think it's a better truck in terms of driving feel than the Tacoma, but the quality isn't anywhere close to the Tacoma. So that's the Frontier. Let's go and take a look at another midsize truck for comparison. All right, so I've now moved over to GMC and Chevrolet stand. I've got the General Motors GMC midsize trucks here. This is the GMC Canyon in AT4X format. And it's actually a beautiful truck. I think it's engineered well, and I really like the overall feel and the performance of the GMC Chevrolet twin trucks. But let's take a look at the quality of the manufacturing. And actually, you know what? Lately, GM has had some really impressive quality, and I'm actually really surprised to tell you that it's only 3.1 millimeter there, maybe 3.3, but the alignment is almost perfect. Look at that. Even right at the edge here looks really good. And then the gap between the front fender and the front door, about 3.9. Little bit off there, not too much. And then between front door and rear door, 3.2 millimeter, and between rear door and the rear cab, about 4 millimeters. So actually better than the Frontier and not as good as the Tacoma. But what I do like about the General Motors trucks these days is their paint job. Look at the quality of this compared to either Tacoma or the Frontier. Really good gloss, which means they have plenty of clear coat on it, and also not too much orange peel. See, like orange peel is almost non-existent, just a little bit along here, but not very noticeable. And even the hood paint, fantastic paint job. All the quality of the plastic looks also good as well, and the fit between the metal part and the plastic portion, look at that, it's pretty good, as good as most Toyota models. So I think the quality of the General Motors and Chevrolet trucks have gotten really good. When I drove this one, it was also squeak free and rattle free, well made. I love the interior, way better looking than I think what we have in Tacoma. I think it's perhaps one of the best looking interiors. So let's do a quick check on its twin model, the Chevrolet Colorado, and then we'll head over to Ford as well. All right, and here's a Chevrolet Colorado, which is identical model to the GMC Canyon. It should be the same quality. Let's take a look what the gaps looks like. Look at that, 3 millimeter. Again, I'm quite shocked how good these are. 3.1, a little bit off in terms of the alignment. This side is a bit higher than that side, but still really good. 3.2, 3.1, and 3.1 millimeters. So look at that. The paint job is also excellent. A bit more orange peel is obvious on this particular one because of the different paint color. But the clear coat is really good, and the panel alignment looks excellent. A little bit of a wave around here, but that's pretty normal for trucks. So far the GMC Chevrolet twins are excellent. Let's take a look at another competitor. And here's a Ford Ranger prototype, because this is a new Raptor, and there's no production model here yet. Early pre-production they call it. So let's see how the quality is on this Ford Ranger Raptor. So the gaps are actually pretty good. 3.8 millimeter here and 4 millimeter there. Unfortunately, a little bit misaligned here, but again, this is the early production or pre-production model, so I can be a bit forgiving. Oh, the gap here is really good. 2.9. How is that possible? And here is 3.1 millimeter and much wider here at 4 millimeter. So that's actually really good. Paint job looks very good as well. I would say maybe not as good as the GM or the Toyota Tacoma paint job, but a little bit better than the Frontier. Clear coat looks okay. I love the color, by the way. And then all the other lineup looks good too. Like here, the gas cap aligned very well. The plastic pieces look good as well. And there's another Ford Ranger over there that's not a Raptor, that's a production model, so I'm gonna go and check that one as well. All right, so this is now the regular Ford Ranger, not the Raptor. And so this will be a production model. And let's look at the gap. For some reason, it's quite different from the other Raptor model. This is like 3.9 millimeter, 4 millimeter, and unfortunately, alignment is okay, but not great. You can see how this is sticking out right now. And in fact, this whole section is sticking a little bit compared to this side. So I don't know, it's not too good there. Here is 3.9. Again, alignment is so-so. This part is higher than this part right now. You can see it when you go look like this. Also here, 3.9. So the gaps are okay, not world class, but acceptable. 4 millimeter. It's just that alignment isn't as good as I thought. This is really sticking out compared to that side, and the hood does not line up on both sides here as well as this side. The gap is really wide, like 5 millimeter here, so it's misaligned. They can fix that at the dealership and make it better. The paint job is not bad though. You can see the clear coat is actually quite consistent. A little bit more orange peel than what I like, but definitely more orange peel than GMC Chevrolet trucks, but acceptable. Although you can see a little bit of a problem here with the stamping. It's a bit bent out of shape, just tiny amount. It's hard to tell on the camera. So unfortunately, in terms of exterior quality on the production model of the Ranger, I'm not sure that I'll be very happy with it. The plastic components look really good though, and between the plastic bumper and the middle bumper, the fit is actually really good. The paint matching not so good. Anyway, that's it for the Ford Ranger. So I've compared all the mid-size trucks that I can find at the Vancouver Auto Show. I hope that was helpful. I'm going to try to do a few more as well, some other models at the show. So let's keep on watching, and hopefully I can share more insight and wisdom with you. Thank you so much.